Test, 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 test. Something's not right. Something's up. Something's not right. Okay. That was not right. Test, test, testing, testing. Welcome everyone to tvosj.org, the voice of San Joaquin. It is now time for Behind the Art Scene.
Hi, this is Joy Neas with Behind the Art Scene, and today I have two guests, Alicia and Xander Van de Bor. Thanks for coming out, and I'm really looking forward to hearing more about how you got involved in art. Alicia, we met over at the Shades of Color at the Vision Board workshop. Can you tell me about that?
So it was a workshop, and I signed up, and you were sitting next to me, and I had seen you before at community events, so I couldn't really place you from which one, and we just started talking, and you told me about the work you do in the community, the chalk art, and yeah.
So, yeah, and it just seems that now I see you everywhere, at every event, and you take all kind of workshops, and you just really gone forward in the arts. It's very impressive. You told me that you used to have a 9-to-5 job, and you quit that to get into art. Can you say a little bit about that?
Well, most of my adult life, I've worked in like large corporations, doing clerical type of work, and when my last child became 18, finished high school, I decided it was a good time to change careers, and so talked to my husband about it, and he was on board and gave the approval for me to quit my job and invest time into taking courses, and yeah.
So have you always been interested in art?
Actually, as a child, I was interested in theater, and I used to put on plays and design the costumes and write the scripts and create tickets, and that was just the thing I loved to do, and I loved acting as a kid. I never got a chance to actually be in a play, but as far as art, as a young child, my grandmother had a kiln at home, and she had her own art room, and so I would sit in there with her, and while she's working on her stuff, she would give me things to work on, and that was my introduction into art.
Oh, wow. Yeah, and theater, that's an art. I think of everything as an art, really.
Oh, yeah,
so.
Theater is art, but I just never really got a chance to
Sure.
be in a production, like kind of the stuff that Vel does with the
Right.
youth theater. I would have loved to have done that.
So, Xander, how did you get involved in art?
Sonder.
Xander?
Yeah.
Sonder.
Xander.
Well, I've been an engineer for my entire life, and the things you design has to be functional. I started more doing the art that I do today about 3 years ago. Got involved with something called an Arduino. It's a little microcontroller that you can use to power LEDs or servos and that kind of things. And I got really interested in programs I can do with it. So started off with some variables I designed for a walk we did in Sacramento. It was at night, so we wanted to put lights on our t-shirts. And I came up with a pink ribbon that had some little LEDs inside of there, and used the sewing machine to put it all together. I used the sewing machine almost my entire life. It's kind of
Really?
Yeah. I know not a lot of men do that, but I like to work with it and put it together. It took me about 2 weeks to make one of those variables, and came up with another idea to make it a little bit easier for myself to put it together by using LED strips, kind of similar to what you have on the back here.
Uh-huh.
So those LED strips, I put them in, and you're able to change the colors, and
Oh, yeah.
the results were really cool. It's like something I've never found anybody else doing it like that. So decided to do something more with it. And
So what, I hear an accent. Where are you from?
oh, I'm Dutch. Yeah,
Dutch.
yeah.
And you said you had worked with the sewing machine. What kind of things did you do? Or?
Yeah, so back in high school, we actually learned how to use the sewing machine, and never forgot how to use it. And when I met Alicia, I started using it at her house. She had one on the kitchen table, and I'm like, oh, can I use it? I need some new seat covers for my car. So I used the sewing machine to make my own seat covers.
So do you make clothes or?
I did pajama pants for Christmas. Those are really easy. So that kind of things. But it really evolved when I started doing the wearables and use it more often now in a lot of my projects.
That's very interesting. So how long have you guys been together, or when did you meet? Or?
Like 10, 11 years ago. Yeah.
Okay. And one of the things I'm really interested in is you go and do a lot of workshops. How do you find out about the workshops, or how do you get involved in that?
I think Facebook is great for that. If you join a group that is involved in something you enjoy, whether it's art or science, you're bound to bump into information regarding workshops, conferences, courses. And so I make sure that I'm very selective about what I like, so that on my feed I'm constantly getting information about the things that I'm interested in. And it's mostly art. Well, not mostly, but it's a lot of art.
I've never met anyone as interested in so many different aspects. And you really travel to a lot of the workshops?
Yeah, and so when we do, he always takes his bike and he rides his bike all over. Mm-hmm. He's been all over.
Yeah.
That really sounded like a fun one in Walnut Creek with the blow up.
Oh yeah, and that was the first time I ever said, you know what, take this workshop with me, because usually I take them by myself. And I said, you'll enjoy it, take it. And oh my gosh, it was so much fun taking a class together, and I just really want to keep taking classes together because it was fun. It's almost like being on a date.
So for the blow up, did they end up? Did you sew, or how do you put it together?
No.
We actually you melt the plastic together.
Oh really?
It's all made out of plastic. Yeah.
So it's with like a hot glue gun, or?
You can use a hot glue gun, or you can use like an iron, a hot iron, and then glue them together like that, and it goes actually pretty quick how you put them together.
So you have big strips of them, or?
Well, it's kind of almost like sewing, where you create a template of what you want it to look like. So you cut it out, the front, the back, and the sides. And then you just, like with sewing, you just attach the edges but leave a hole for the air to go through.
Wow. So where do you get like the big fabrics or the plastic?
They're like garbage bags or
you
tablecloths.
wouldn't believe it, yeah. Dollar Tree tablecloths.
Yeah.
Every color.
Works,
yeah.
You get the big sheet for
Yeah.
And
but
that makes the blow up?
Well, that's how you would learn with that type of material. But if you were to continue with that, you would want to buy, what was the type of material?
I'd like a nylon or,
the stuff that kites, not kites, but windsurfing kites are made out of. That stuff. I forget what it's called.
Yeah, it's a nylon.
Yeah,
I'm sure the number. And it's really light, and you can sew it, and it's airtight.
Oh, wow.
So when you blow air in there, it will, expand.
So what did you guys make that day?
He made a lot.
Yeah, I made
he
I
just
made a large
whipped it
flower.
out.
Yeah. That you can actually hang up and then blow it up from the bottom, and it will expand.
How big is it?
It's about 6-7 feet tall.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And it took me about an hour. Yeah.
Oh wow.
So it goes pretty quick, and then I started working on our initials. I never finished that one because it fell apart when I was putting air in there. So it's you have to make sure you put the seams pretty tight and put hot glue on there when it's needed. But it's unique.
So what did you make?
I just, whenever I start anything, I'm more concerned about learning the technique. That's just, for me, if I can understand the technique, then later I can go back and do something else. So I was all about learning how to do the curves and the loops, and so that it wasn't, I guess you'd say, non-representational.
But
It was
that's
just a
good,
bunch
yeah.
of tubes and
It was big.
yeah, it was big.
Yeah.
And that's what I wanted. I wanted to see if I could create something really large, because like you went to the show, right? And everything
Yeah.
was humongous.
Yeah.
And I wanted to see how that works, and I wanted to be in an environment where if I came upon any questions, I could ask the instructor.
So, what do you guys plan to do with what you made, or how do you plan to use it?
So I actually ordered a little fan that usually is being used in a computer, and a little solar panel that I'm going to use to make a tiny blow up that I can just use outside when I go to different festivals, showing the work I'm doing, and just put it outside in the sun, and will just expand to a blow up.
Yeah.
So, are you going to use the flower that you made?
Now the flower is probably too big.
Uh.
I tried it. It's too big for it, but I want to make something smaller that you just put on the table and it will blow up.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, you told me that you are gonna you got the grant for the sculpture garden. Can you share anything that you're going to be doing?
Sure. So one of the courses I took, book arts, and one of the instructors in San Francisco, she creates these beautiful tunnel books. And so basically a tunnel book, it's about perspective. So you see the foreground, the midground, and the background, and you're looking through. Well, I thought, oh, it'd be so cool to make a big giant one. So I'm making a large tunnel book.
Oh, is there a certain theme?
I wanted it to be about Stockton. And so I'm playing around with the Children's Museum and Pixie Woods, our libraries, and our community centers, because I think those are great places and some of the best places in our community for adults and children.
How big is it going to be?
6 feet by 6 feet, and then as far as the length, possibly 8 feet.
Wow.
So it's humongous. We had to clean out one of our rooms in the house just so I could build it in there.
Now, do people walk inside of that? Or?
No.
So it's almost like I used to make the panorama Easter eggs that you can look in the Easter egg,
Mm-hmm.
and it has a scene.
Very similar, except for just imagine 4 or 5 eggs, one after another and after another, and you can see through each one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
Well,
it's like
that's
that.
exciting.
Yeah.
So, do you have any idea of how many sculptures are going to be in the garden?
I think 5 or 6. Yeah.
For because I didn't hear of anyone else getting the grant. Do you know who else is going to do it?
We do, but I don't know
Oh,
if
you
we're
can't-
supposed to say yet. I don't know if it's a surprise.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. So, you take a lot of courses in school, and I thought you had graduated, but now you're going to. Are you still going to Delta College? Or?
Yeah, so when I worked, I did take classes here and there along with working. And so I had like 120 units already done between all the classes I've taken, but it was never for an actual major. It was just things that interest me. So, if I'm interested about mythology, then I take a class. If I'm interested about women's history, take a class. And then when I have the opportunity to change my career, that's when I took my first official college-level art course. So it was only until recently that I actually took a college art course.
So, how many units did you have to take for the major? Or?
I think it's a total 140, I think, or 160.
But for the art part, the art related.
Maybe that part is 60. Yeah. So I applied to Stanislaus. I start in January over there, and I'll be there for a while.
And you said you wanted to teach afterwards, or
Well, that was the initial plan, but not anymore.
no?
Yeah.
Do you know what you want to do? Or?
What I'd like to do is, we've talked about it, and I ran it by him, of course, first. And what I'd like to do is, when I finish, is set up a really nice studio and start creating pieces that I can show. And yeah, and then do some residencies too would be a lot of fun.
So you want to exhibit, you want to sell, so you want to be a practicing artist?
Yeah.
That sounds good. What about you?
So, like my future, what I'm.
Yeah.
So, well, my main daily job is engineering,
Uh-huh.
but I really like teaching others how to get into engineering or into more of the techniques that are used in engineering to get young kids, young adults motivated to go in that direction, because we see a lot of jobs coming today and in the future that are needed in that field. So we're doing a lot of call them like STEAM or STEM festivals where we have a booth and we try to get kids motivated to work with their hands and try new things and try to expand that. I did some classes here in different libraries here in Stockton to get kids into electronics and combine it with the things I learned. And
So do you have any more planned, or?
so we have another festival coming up. It's called the Makers Fair. It will be in Rocklin. It will be in October, mid-October. Where we have a table and we're going to show what we're doing, and maybe kids can play with the electronics and get them more excited.
I thought that was interesting when you went to the quilt museum in San Jose. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, so they had like I think it was called What's Tech or What's Tech All About, and it was they combine textile with art, and they call it like tech art. It's like thought it was kind of cool because like textile, technology, and art, and combine it all together. So yeah, I went over there and had a little booth where I showed like a motorized butterfly that has like LEDs inside, and then servos to move the wings, showing that off, and then different things of where people can find resources to make their own projects or their own wearables or whatever they want to make.
Did you lecture about that? I thought you were lecturing. Gave a
little bit,
talk,
yeah.
or?
It was more when they will come to my table, I will tell them where to find stuff, how to start your project, what to get.
Right.
Actually, when I did my booth here at Lincoln High School back in March, we had a big table, like 2 10-foot tables, so that's a lot of space. And I showed them how to start a project, how to begin it, how you start off on like a breadboard. And how it grows to an actual finished product, and I think kids like that. They like to see the different steps. Because usually when you see electronics, they're already in a finished environment, so you don't know how it actually evolved.
Yeah, because when you did it at the Chavez Library, you already had the
little board
programmed, and and then we made the little stars and everything.
Yeah. And also that program evolved because the first one that took about almost 4 hours to complete. I think they were kicking us out of the library because there was about time to close.
Yeah.
And we did one a couple months ago, and within 1.5 hours. So it really evolved. Yeah, did way better.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So I wanted to talk to Alicia about your relationship with Linda Mora. Tell me about that.
You know, as far as art, growing up in my grandparents' house, we did have artwork from Raul, painting, large painting. But I think there was really no influence from that part of my family for art.
No?
I mean, we did a lot of camping, but no influence. And I kind of think when I look back, gosh, that was a missed opportunity. You know, I could have got advice, and but I guess at that time, like I said, I was into theater. But Yeah, I see that. We see them at the Mexican Heritage Center. They go to a lot of events. They're big supporters of the Heritage Center, and
So Linda's your aunt?
yeah, on my dad's side.
Okay. Were you around when the Mexican Heritage Center first started in 1997? Did you go to the?
I'm trying to
exhibits?
remember when I first went. It's been, gosh, I know it was for the fiesta. That's what got me there. To be honest, I didn't know they had the continuous art shows, exhibitions. So, gosh, I wish I would have known about that. But it was always the fiesta I would go to. So that was something I looked forward to, going to that.
So that was at Cinco de Mayo, or
Day of the Dead fiesta.
okay, because like I showed the for there when they first opened in '97, they had the Day of the Dead. We had altars, but we never really had a fiesta. So it was probably just when they moved to
Recent, not too long ago.
okay.
Yeah.
So what are you doing for this year involved with the festival?
Not a lot. No. We're more involved with so there's going to be an altar at the Collide Festival that's presented by the Mexican Heritage Center. So Sandra and I have been attending meetings to stay in the loop on that, and actually be a couple of local artists and Sandra that will be working on the altar, and then Gracie's going to be leading that project. And so, yeah, that's kind of been our focus lately, is making sure that we have an altar there for people to enjoy.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. Did you see the altars they used to have at the Hagen Museum? Or?
No, I haven't.
No. We got to get that back going, Susan Obert. Just reaching out there, Susan Obert.
What? Well, we have it at the Mexican Heritage Center.
Right.
Is it similar?
They would set up always choose a certain community artist, and once you like enter into the museum, they would have that first room that people entered. They would set up an altar. It took up pretty much the whole or a good portion of the space.
Wow.
It was like a huge altar, maybe.
You can walk inside.
3 or 4 times as big as just a
One tiny one.
small.
Wow.
And they had like their own message, or
Yeah. So the person, whoever was doing it, would pick who they wanted to honor, and they'd have the whole story, have a written
Like an artist
biography
statement,
about
yeah.
it.
yeah, because we went to some museum in San Francisco about
Yeah.
I'd say 3 years ago, and they had like they were not really like altars, but like more like memorials, but with the same idea. It was like
Yeah. It was for Day of the Dead,
yeah, it was
but
for the Day of the Dead.
they were more like non-traditional, more artistic with their altars. It was very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, because actually a number of the artists were from the Mexican Heritage Center. I remember like Jorge Elizalde, he did a whole altar. He painted on records, but he did a whole thing, and I think Luz Lua and Richard Rios, and I don't know if Raul did one. We got to find out about that.
That would be nice to have that and go see that. I'd love to.
And they also had the Flori Canto. You don't know?
Maybe her face, but not her name.
But no, it was a program at the Hagen Museum of music and poetry and dance, and it was a whole day that they coordinated. Richard Rios.
Oh, that's the name of the event?
Yeah.
Oh.
Flor y Canto, flower and song.
Oh.
So he put this whole thing together, I think, for 15 years, And then Elazar Caballero, he took it over, and last year they didn't have it, but it'd be nice to continue that too. Susan Obert. Maybe I heard that you now are in charge of the education component at the Mexican Heritage Center? Or?
Well, when I came on board, that was my focus, is arts education.
Yeah.
Kind of be pulling back now that I'll be going to Stanislaus because we are moving out of town.
Where are you moving?
We're moving to Oakdale.
Oh, no. Oh.
Yeah.
So we're still around. It's not too far.
Well,
yeah.
we won't probably, but and not too far. We'll be moving in February. Yeah.
Mhm.
So do you think you'll come back to Stockton? Or?
Probably not.
No.
I have family, but I'm going to have them go out there because it's nice, and so it'd be nice for them to come visit.
So would you be going to school in Stockton or in
No, Stan State. Stan Turlock.
Turlock.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I sure hope at some point they're talking about bringing a state university here to Stockton. So then we could, I went to San Francisco State. I had to commute from here, and I went to San Jose State. I had to commute from here. So it'd be nice to have something actually here.
Close. Yeah. Yeah, if they do, then I'll come back just for a class.
Okay. All right.
I'll come take a class.
We need the state university, folks.
Yeah. All the local artists will love it, taking classes.
So, I want to get back to the whole when you go to workshops. That I know that those can get pretty expensive. Do you guys budget for that, or how do you when you go to all the workshops that you attend?
No. No, I just see something I like and sign up. But see, I'm not the kind of woman that is out buying shoes and clothes and all kinds of
Sure.
purses and stuff.
Sure.
I'm the one that's just signing up for art classes. So.
And
So
for some of the events we volunteer, and that's how we.
Oh yeah, a few
get
events we
involved
have.
too. When we go to like the Maker Fair or that kind of events, we volunteer or we just participants.
Uh,
Yeah.
That's how we get involved.
But the workshops, I haven't volunteered yet. They don't have those type of positions where you could take the workshop and volunteer.
Sure. Do you have any idea of how many workshops you've taken?
No, because I've taken so many over the years. I mean, let's see, at least 20 years worth of workshops.
Is there a certain theme or just kind of all across?
Whatever seems interesting.
But
Yeah.
mainly more focused to books, book art and.
Well, lately, but 20 years ago, I was doing like paper quilling, paper piecing, and different things.
Sure.
I think it just changes.
Yeah.
So I know that you've also taught at Jagged Lines and different places. Do you enjoy teaching?
I did at first, but I think I'm getting a little more greedy with my time and the amount of time it takes to prepare for a class and get your stuff all packed up and get there, buy the materials and everything. I'm starting to see that more as like time I could be doing my own work.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I know like when I go with him, I like being his assistant or helper. That's fun.
Sure.
In fact, they ask if I am.
The class takes weeks to prepare.
Yeah, it does. Exactly. It takes so long to prepare for a class that it's a big commitment.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I feel you on that one.
Right.
I've never been to a maker fair. Can you tell me more? What do they do?
Yeah, so the Makers Fair, there's always a big one in San Mateo once a year in around May, and people show off their work. The big thing about makers is that they like to share what they make and also how they make it. So it's really, people are really open about it. For example, we went there 2 years ago, and someone had, something to
Lego?
fold out of Legos, how to fold papers or
Yeah, how to cut the perfect square to make origami
that was
paper.
nice. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And I saw that. I was like,
And you're like, back in your diet. He's like, no, you make it yourself, and here are the drawings.
and,
She's
yeah, and
like-
here's how you do it. And I was like, what?
Yeah, it's a totally different approach. So people are out there, sharing their projects, but also companies are there to show up their work, and there's a lot of art. Art from this is from Burning Man,
Oh,
usually. Yeah, they have them out there, big installations. Things are moving. They have fire around it. It's light up. And,
Lights.
yeah, it's always pretty cool.
Have you guys been to Burning Man?
No.
No.
We were coming back from somewhere, though, and passed all the people from
Oh,
Burning
yeah.
Man.
Oh, I want to go to Burning Man.
Damn.
Oh my god! And then I hear my brother. He goes to Burning Man all the time. My
Oh,
God.
wow.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, we've seen all the artwork because they bring them to that kind of festivals, and it's pretty cool. Yeah, but those makers
wow.
are able to build.
What would you say the definition of a maker? What is a maker?
Huge, yeah, like maybe a combination of an artist and an engineer that is designing something that's new out there and able to share it with others. I think that's the ideal maker, yeah.
So making something from scratch.
Yeah, making something from scratch and trying new technology or new products that are out there and combining them to make something that's unique.
So is it always tech related? Or
No.
No, it could be anything.
It's like
yeah.
a do-it-yourselfer
Yeah.
person.
Okay, doing yeah.
Yeah.
But they don't follow any instructions or books. They just they go out there
Do
and
it yourself.
they
Okay.
design something and then they make their own instructions later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I personally I love doing crochet and some of the textile arts.
Hmm.
So if I would design my own thing, then I'd be a maker.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I got to do more designing.
And it's getting really popular. You see a lot of new shops around here that are focusing on the makers so they can make bigger installations and
Have you guys have been to the Hatch workshop?
yeah.
What do you think of that?
We were both really excited when we first heard they were coming
Yeah.
years ago.
Yeah, a couple of years ago. I think 2 years ago when they came to town. And
Did you see their new space?
not
No.
yet. No.
So it's on Union Street, one block past the railroad tracks on Weber, and you take a right. It's they have a big warehouse, and so you have the whole warehouse space, but then they all around it is they have a large outdoor space that they're going to be using for different festivals and events. And so I'll be really excited when they actually open. They've had a soft opening. Hatch, you got to open. Okay. So,
Yeah, we've been to different maker spaces like that around Sacramento, and they're pretty cool.
Yeah.
But they have a lot of
And
interesting
Oakland.
classes. Yeah, and Oakland has some
Crucible is
interesting-
great.
yeah.
And yeah, hopefully they will open soon. I've been waiting for it. Yeah.
There's a space up in Chico. One of the artists that was from Stockton went up to Chico for school, and now she lives up there. It's a maker space up there. Have you guys been up to Chico? Or?
Well, we drove
We've
through
been
it. Yeah.
through Chico.
Yeah. We went up to the mountains in there. Yeah.
Yeah, they got. I think it's because there's the university is there.
Mm-hmm.
They have a large arts community with murals and things going on.
They're getting common now. We saw one recently in Modesto.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Like,
Whereabouts?
it's by the movie theater.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
like maybe 2 blocks away.
Yeah.
Do you know the name? or-
It's right by the state.
Oh
is
shoot!
the
I took a
state
picture
theater.
of it, but I forgot
Oh, by the
name.
State Theater?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. It was closed when we walked by, but it's a makerspace.
Yeah, and there's
Oh,
some
wow.
interesting art inside there too of things they built already.
Yeah.
So, can I ask where in Oakdale you guys are moving in, like having a piece of land or
Well,
a better house? Or?
Yeah, we have a house there that we gonna move into.
My one of my aunts and uncles, they live in Oakdale. My cousin lives in Oakdale. That's
Oh.
actually why we came to Stockton, because they my cousin got a Kaufman and Broad house, so and then I thought, oh, okay, we can get one too. And
Uh-huh.
so,
Yeah, when we first started dating, Sandra bought a house out there. It's really pretty. It's got a spa and a hill and a
When-
swimming
almost next
pool
to
with
the
a
river,
waterfall.
Oh,
And then
wow.
we're right next to the Stanislaus River.
Oh,
So we used to go to Knight's Ferry, get in tubes and go down and then just get off and walk to the house.
there we go.
So it would be kind of nice, walk the dogs down by the river and just have that change of big, like, city versus country life.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much art they got out there, but
Probably not a lot,
Yeah.
honestly. Probably not anything like what I'm used to.
Yeah, but we told them we are coming, so
Yeah, I've already contacted the city council, the mayor. What do you got going on? Let's get it started.
so you think maybe you'd go to Modesto a little more often?
Oh,
or-
definitely, because the last time we were there
We
for
were
a
surprised
movie,
how much
there's so
art is
much
there
art
already.
going on.
How
They
many
have like
galleries.
art hops, so many
Yeah.
galleries. It's just so we're gonna have so much fun exploring that
Okay.
because we haven't done that yet.
Yeah, I used to go to Modesto. They had it was called the Photographers Gallery, and they closed down, but it was just solely related to photography, and each month they'd have a different theme, and it was so exciting just to be in that. But,
Yeah,
so,
yeah, I'm kind of excited about that.
Yeah.
And then the State Theater is there, so
Oh, yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
they have this thing. I'm not sure if I think they still have it. It actually turned into quite a mob scene, but it's called Handborn, and I think it's around the holidays, but. It's almost like an art walk, and just all the art spaces and people making more creative items, and what they could make with their hands, and kind of gift items. And,
More like craft.
yeah.
Oh,
So-
nice.
so-
Ooh. That'll be
So kind of get a gift fair, holiday fair.
fun. Handmade gifts.
So
Yeah.
you should look that up. Handborn.
Handborn. We'll definitely check back with you when we move.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Xander, you said where do you work or?
Well, actually, I work in Oakdale, so
Okay.
it will be a really nice commute for me. Yeah.
What is your what is the firm, or what is your
So-
job?
Yeah, so the company is called Hager, and they make call them hardware insertion machines, and I'm doing the engineering. So starting off with engineering, mechanical side mainly, and now doing all the other engineering tasks that are involved, like electrical, software, and that kind of things. So I was always interested in programming. So when I started kind of going in this direction, using that into my art, it started about 3 years ago. We went through do some volunteering work for the Girl Scouts.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so we signed up to help them out because they were programming, and I'm like, well, I've done programming before. I did PLCs, I've designed websites, so let me go out there and let me see if I can help them. But they actually taught me more than I could teach them because they were so
Teenage
far
girls.
ahead. I was like really surprised how
Wow.
what they could do with those little controllers, and I never used them before, so I purchased some and started working with them, and that's how it evolved. It
So
yeah.
to become an engineer, where did you go to school, or?
So I started off in the Netherlands, where I was born, and so I went to school there, and the school system is a little bit different there, but a bit to something that's kind of pre-college. And there I decided that I wanted to do more, that I wanted to go to the university probably later. So I took extra classes. I wanted to go to the actual college first. Thought it was too easy, so I decided with a couple of my friends to go to Germany instead and give us a challenge, because I was terrible in foreign language. So like, well, let's go to a different country and see how it goes. Was a lot of fun, and there actually I was asked to come to the US to do my internship here. That's how I came here in 2004, and I went back to Europe to do another my master program in Sweden and Switzerland, because like, oh hey, there's an opportunity to travel. and study in the meantime. That was kind of like the side part of it. But yeah, you can travel while you study. That would be great. And after that, I came back to the US. They asked me,
So
to work
you
here
said an
full-time.
internship. What?
It was at the
What
same
was-
company. So
Oh,
they had an exchange program with their office in the Netherlands.
Oh,
And
wow.
they asked me if I could work on the project here. And what I designed back then, we're still using that today. So that's pretty exciting.
Wow. So Alicia, have you traveled? Have you gone over there? Or?
Well, he travels a lot, and I have not traveled with him because I don't like to fly.
Oh no.
So my graduation gift is a trip to Europe. But we are going on a cruise.
Okay.
So
There we go.
we're taking the long route. We're gonna go on a cruise all the way to Europe. How is it now?
Oh, it's not too bad. You can, I have to go to the East Coast first, but from the East Coast there's an actual cruise going from New York all the way to England.
So you're gonna fly to, or you're gonna
No.
drive?
Probably drive,
Drive.
Something or take the train.
Okay.
I like the
Okay.
Amtrak.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And I could take you there in 3 days. So.
Yeah.
And then we go to Europe, and I can't wait. So we'll be there for a while. Plan to
Yeah.
stay for how long?
I don't know, a couple months probably, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it'll be nice. I think we're staying in what town?
Well, I'm probably gonna work there too, or whatever it's possible. But so my office over there is close to the German border. So when we work there, we can always go to Germany and. Yeah.
So you can probably, because all the countries are very close, you're
Mhm.
gonna go to
Oh yeah, we
a
plan
number
to.
of countries. Or?
And then
Yeah.
while he's working, I plan to kidnap his mom and have her take me everywhere. Like, let's go. Let's get on those trains and let's go.
Yeah.
So she lives over there? or-
Yeah, all my family lives over there. Yeah,
His
Yeah.
brother, he has two brothers.
yeah. My dad is there. Yeah.
So I wanted to ask, do you enjoy doing like plein air art, like sketching?
I haven't done that yet. Yeah, I haven't. I think there was something in Ileton that I saw on Facebook and I thought, oh, that'd be fun, but no, I haven't done that. And then I'm more into sculpture.
Oh,
So, painting and drawing outside, it's different with sculpture maybe. I can't imagine, bringing the big pieces and all
Sure,
that
sure.
out there. So, yeah.
maybe you could do some kind of a carving or sculpture.
Yeah, I could. Yeah. I really want to start working on installations, so I have an idea for one, and I'd like to start it now so that at least by my senior year, along with some other ideas, that I could show it. So that's probably gonna be my focus.
So, can you tell anything about that? Or?
Should I?
Yeah. Well,
Okay, so one of my ideas is to do an installation piece in porcelain, and it'll be lily pads. So when you walk in, so usually when you look at lily pads, you're looking from above the water. I want it to have the experiences you're underneath the water like the fish,
Oh,
and
wow.
you're looking up and you see the bottom of the lily pads.
Uh-huh.
But I just want an entire room of lily pads on this hanging from the ceiling, and then the long flower wreaths, and
Uh-huh.
and then he's gonna teach me how to program and do the electronic part where they're gonna move like a wave.
Oh, wow.
So it's like this feeling when you walk in, like you're actually in the water looking up.
Would you have lights with that? Or?
I don't know about the lights
I don't
because
know, yeah.
it's probably really dark down there.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe it'll be dim.
But like if you're looking up above it, kind of the breaking of the light.
coming
the,
through.
The sunlight.
That's a great idea. Okay, I'll have to give you credit for that. We'll be a team.
I'm very interested in installations too. So.
And that's the wonderful thing about being around artists is like you tell them something and then they just kind of like add on to it, like how you just added. And see, I told him about the lily pads and he told me about the movement.
There we
And
go.
so it's like,
Right.
it's so great to be around people who are artists because you're just like adding on to those ideas.
So what artists do you enjoy being around
In town,
around Stockton?
all the kids at Delta.
Yeah.
They are so interesting. I guess because they haven't hit the real world yet as far as like being totally responsible, having a job and all of that. So they're really, I don't know, they're inspirational, they're creative, they're bold, and yeah.
And you were doing, was that teaching or what? There was some, is it disabled students? Or?
Oh, yeah, there's a local teacher that the Goodwin Gallery goes to visit a couple times a year and teach art classes to. And I went along once with them, the Goodwin Gallery, the Art League. And I ended up going back on my own and teaching them classes. And in fact, they've asked for you to go and teach the class you teach.
Mm-hmm.
So he's just trying to work up getting some more sewing machines so he can go there.
That was at a church? Or?
No, it's Stockton Unified.
Oh, okay.
So they're between the ages, I think, 18 and 23.
That's very. There are so many opportunities in Stockton. It just is mind blowing. So, what are some of your favorite places to visit in Stockton for art? Would you say?
Well, we have a couple of galleries.
Gosh.
But here, yeah.
Not-
Or
it's not a
your
lot
favorite
in
events,
Stockton.
or
It's
I don't
difficult,
know.
yeah.
I have to think about that for a while.
Because usually when we go out of town.
Yeah.
oh, you
For
do?
Yeah.
for some events, yeah.
We usually do.
Yeah.
Like Crucible. I love Crucible.
Yeah.
I love Davis. I also like Berkeley, Oakland, San Francisco. Where else?
The Crocker Museum.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They've been really nice to Sonder, the Crocker Museum
there
in San
twice now,
Francisco
yeah.
or Sacramento.
Yeah.
He's been there a few times
Yeah.
with his work.
So you did some things at the Crocker.
Yeah, so they have, I think, yes, Thursday nights, they have an event called Arts Mix. And they invite people, the members, or even if you're a non-member, you can go there, and they have a big party. I think you have to be 21 or older, because they serve alcohol and
Music.
the music going
That's
and
fun.
all crazy stuff going on. It's great. And yeah, they have like artists or vendors out there too that can show their work. And so the first time I went there was when I just started doing my wearables. So I just only showed them the wearables, and they were all excited. All the people that came to my table. It was my
wow.
first event, so I didn't know how to prepare it. But yeah, it was. People were all excited and enjoying it, and a lot of people said you should bring it to Burning Man, or can I just buy this here and make my own? But back then I had nothing to really share with anybody. Just the stuff that I made.
Okay, I want to see you at Burning Man. You guys,
There's something big there, yeah.
You can have the installation at Burning Man. That would be something else.
Well, we have talked about doing festivals.
Yeah, do
big
something bigger,
installation
yeah, big
pieces at
installations.
festivals.
Mhm.
I don't know about Burning Man, but at big festivals.
Yeah.
Like what other festivals?
There's some in Europe that you've been looking at.
Yeah, but even like outside lands, they usually
yeah.
have a lot of art, which is pretty cool. I'm not sure if you've been there, but they usually have an area that's all lit up at night and things hanging from the trees.
Where
and,
where is it?
It's in San Francisco at
okay.
Golden Gate Park. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's every summer, August.
Yeah.
They have about 3 or 4 different stages.
Mhm.
All these different artists come and perform, and there's art and just all kinds of stuff.
Oh wow.
It's pretty cool.
There's something going around Facebook right now. It's I'm trying to remember the name, but it was in Paso Robles. A guy, he put like a whole field of lights. Did you see that?
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah,
What is
it's south, right? South California.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And then
you walk
and
in there and they come up and they light up.
yeah, they're all like LEDs, and the whole field. It's just like thousands of
Lights.
lights. It's just unbelievable. And the same guy, he did this over in Australia, right at the Ayers Rock. So in front of the rock, you have the whole land with all the lights.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You
So
could do
I've
something
seen-
like
I've
that.
seen
So
pictures, yeah.
Paso Robles isn't that far. I typed it in. It's only about 3 hours from here.
Oh,
There-
it's not bad. Yeah.
We're dying, or I'm dying to go to not Southern California. Gosh, just
Vegas?
totally forgot. Well, Vegas too. Tim Burton's going to be in Vegas, so I want to see him. But where was it that we were going to go this summer, and I ended up taking classes. What town was that? Santa Fe. Was it Santa
Oh,
Fe?
Santa Fe. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry,
uh-huh,
I couldn't
yeah.
remember.
That's all right.
Yeah.
But there's a few things that go on there. There's a couple of
Oh,
festivals,
yeah. Also with a lot of lights.
lights,
yeah.
and big installations.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'll have to send you a
Yeah,
snapshot. I
yeah.
saw it in Sunset Magazine just like a couple weekends
And I
ago.
think Santa Cruz too, right? Santa Cruz.
Oh, Santa
has an
Cruz has
event,
something
yeah.
too.
And even the event here in Stockton they will have in October, the
Oh,
Collide
yeah,
Festival, will have a
Collide.
lot of lights.
It's going to be nice.
Yeah, and we're gonna light it up too. So
For Collide.
Yeah, at
Yeah.
night it's going to light up.
yeah.
So it'll be something really exciting that I don't think we've seen at night something like that
I
before.
think it's something unique for Stockton. Yeah.
Yeah, something
Yeah,
more.
last year they were supposed to have the
The drones.
the drones,
Yeah.
and that didn't work out. But
Yeah.
But the lights will be there for
yeah.
sure.
Yeah, we're gonna bring a lot of lights.
that'll be great.
And the art. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to see the sculpture garden.
Yeah.
I wish we could have that like permanently.
Permanent sculpture garden. That'd
Yeah.
be cool. Yeah.
So.
Maybe we'll have to make one in our backyard in Oakdale.
Yeah.
There we go.
Invite people over
Yeah,
there.
because we have like this big hill and you can walk up the steps and go up
And
it.
the old oak trees back there. Yeah.
Maybe make a little sculpture garden.
Yeah.
There we go.
Invite people over to.
Maybe if whoever is in charge of art over there, they could have like an art tour,
Oh, that,
and
yeah.
they could come
Come
to
to
your
our
house.
house. Hey,
Yeah.
that's a great idea.
Mhm.
So I think we're about ready to wrap it up. And I'm really happy that both of you guys got to come today. And so that was really fascinating. Now, you've answered all my questions and made me think of some things. And I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, thank you.
It's fun
Yeah.
talking.
So that's what you hear on Behind the Art Scene. And we'll see you next time.